What is up, guys? I'm Rap Street and this is Cartoon Creepers. Disclaimer: this is based somewhat on my opinion, and also I got some inspiration from the internet. So if you get offended, we all have different tastes and we all have cartoons. Disclaimer: this is based somewhat on my opinion, and also I got some inspiration from the internet. So if you get offended, we all have different tastes and we all have cartoons. And also, I'm excluding Family Guy and The Simpsons because this channel is strictly child friendly. What is up, guys? I'm Rap Street and this is Cartoon Creepers. It's a collaboration YouTube channel made by my friend Dope Remix, where we talk about cartoons and animated movies. So without further ado, here we go. If you've lived long enough, you've had some pretty awesome experiences in front of the TV. But if you make a comparison with the content us of this generation watch, you can kind of see how things turned out, which is pretty lame. I'm not saying these cartoons are horrible, and if you like them, that's okay. But in today's list, I'm going to be counting 10 cartoons that went bad. We're going to be talking about the cartoons that went bad and how compromising from action, style, humor, and etc. So let's start the video. Sonic Boom. How did my third favorite cartoon end up on this list? Let's see, shall we? From the popular video game franchise came to us 2016 Sonic Boom. I'm not gonna lie, I love the show, but for the sake of the video, I'm gonna talk about it. I found this article on the internet, but it's too long, so I summarized it. Speed was shelved because we were under the impression people didn't want it. Speed is always a Sonic thing. We didn't focus on that. Sonic Boom suffered from a glut, with too much content crammed in. The biggest mistake in Boom was adding too many features to it. So to simplify this, Speed was abandoned because the company thought people didn't want it, even though Speed is definitely, without a doubt, a Sonic thing. They also didn't consider that Sonic Boom was suffering from glut, which is when too much content is crammed in. But the biggest mistake Boom had made was adding too many features to it. This was created by Stephen Frost, one of the people who are related to Sega. Yeah, so copyright thumbs up to him. Ben 10 2016. My friend made a video about Ben 10 and that inspired me to add this on the list. And it is that the original Ben 10 Alien Force, Ultimate Alien, Omniverse, and etc. were replaced with this Ben 10. I don't mean anyone any offense, but it sucks. And here are a few reasons why. Number 1. Personally, my favorite thing to talk about, the plotlessness. Now I know the original Ben 10 was also kind of plotless, but on this one, they really maximized it. It doesn't have a plot or a storyline. For those of you who don't know what a storyline is, it is a factual or fictional narrative and amount of similar events which are either constant or monotonous. Number 2. They made Ben slightly more immature and lazy. Now I know the original Ben 10 was pretty childish, but they kinda increased this. Number 3. They removed some of the cool aliens like Wildmutt, Ghost Freak, and Waybig, which not only contributed to the cool factors but also made it way more thrilling. The villains were also pretty nerfed too. I mean, Bill Gax was more evil and tough like he used to send these cool robots and bounty hunters, but in this one, not so much. We also have the other cool villains like the Master Sorcerer Hex and her next Charmcaster, Kevin Levin, and so on. Now I know he's also in Ben 10 2016, but not as cool as the one in 2015. Now on to the next cartoon. Be Cool Scooby-Doo. I figured this one also deserved it, but not as cool as the one in 2015. Now on to the next cartoon. Be Cool Scooby-Doo. I figured this one also deserved to be on this list. Now I know Be Cool Scooby-Doo was cancelled, more specifically season 3, but still. And I also had a lot of different cartoon reboots, but the most popular would have to be Cool Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated. So I figured it could make it on this list. Now note, I'm going to be talking about their Scooby-Doo, Where Are You, and being replaced by Scooby-Doo. Now let me explain. In my what I don't know. Now let me explain. What I don't like about Scooby-Doo, first of all, the storytelling isn't that good. All the mysteries and pretty much everything seems planned, which isn't that cool for a mystery-solving kind of series. Another there Another reason is the artwork or animation style. Now I know this isn't a really good factor of determining if something is good or not, but if you compare this to something like Mystery Incorporated, you can kinda see where I'm getting at. I mean, it's not as good as the original ones, like in Beako Scooby-Doo their eyes are bigger and it's a bit more 2D and all that, and also it became kinda more juvenile, like in a Teen Titans Go perspective. There is more unnecessary humor and all that, and if you can compare the factor to Scooby-Doo, Where Are You, or Mystery Incorporated, you can kinda see what I mean. Like a mini factor being Daphne. First of all, she is a lot more silly than in the previous versions and reboots. She does things like awful and extremely inappropriate dressing at similar events, and her jokes don't contribute to it at all. In fact, they kind of make things worse in comparison. Now on to the next cartoon, Alvin and the Chipmunks 2015. Alvin and the Chipmunks was awesome, more specifically in the 80s or 90s, and even the movies contributed and increased the wow factor. But they removed all that and gave us this trash. Where do I start? First of all, the chipmunks don't look like chipmunks, they kind of look like mini humans. Yes, all of them, they kind of look like mini humans, with not so noticeable fur. Number 2. This may not surprise you because I like talking about this. It is the plotlessness. To be honest, I hate plotless cartoons. In fact, there are a lot of plotless shows that I like to watch. In fact, I love half of the shows on this list. I just don't show it much. Okay, now to continue on the video. I'm saying that Alvin and the Chipmunks doesn't seem to have a plot, or in layman's terms, a storyline. Like I said, the episodes seem random and different from each other. Like in one episode, they're trying to win a contest, another, Alvin suspects something which is clearly and obviously a misunderstanding, but doesn't want to hear it. Another thing which is horrible about Alvin and the Chipmunks 2015 is it's mainly focused on their domestic life, meaning we don't get to hear a lot of their singing career. We mostly get misunderstandings and inability to do work from Alvin, which leads to problems and so on. Now on to a news cartoon. This one may surprise you, but I don't know. The Powerpuff Girls. The Powerpuff Girls was awesome. The Powerpuff Girls was awesome, and here's why. The action in it. It had way more action than now. There was blood and all that, and also Miss Bell fought more, and it was kinda cool. She was like a role model for the girls, which is better if you think about it. Also, the villains in the reboot are less deadly, which is kinda bad considering the fact that they're villains. For some reason, they became kinda low-key. They've been more chill and less evil instead of just being plain evil. Mojo Jojo trying to blow up Townsville and now is stealing puppies. And also, this may seem non-influential, but the voice actors of the original Powerpuff Girls were better, and also the teenage to our next cartoon, Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This one definitely deserves to be on the list, and that it has very similar features to Teen Titans Go. The original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was awesome and I loved it. It just felt like it had a plot. It felt that it had a storyline, and the animation contributed to it also. But the Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, it's a whole other story. First of all, it's a bit plotless because it's kind of randomly generated. Even though the plot is they look for their hidden potential and all that, but to me it's kind of plotless. Second of all, Master Splinter used to be serious and grim, and that kind of made it way more cool. Now in this one, he's frivolous and never really does anything helpful. In fact, he causes problems. He's also lazy and kind of dirty and all that. And the animation only made things worse. Third of all, the Turtles just seem worse, not only in stature but also in spirit. Leonardo seems more prideful in a kind of a weird way. Like, he becomes more silly and ignominious, Raphael becoming surprisingly bigger in a weird way, and becoming more dumb for some reason, Donatello being a lot more silly, like his inventions don't work. I don't know if that's to contribute to comic relief, but it's still weird. Michelangelo, to be honest, he's more or less the same, but becoming slightly less lazy and more silly. Now on to our next cartoon, Doug. Doug was one of the first 3 cartoons they gave us. Sorry about that. Doug was one of the first 3 cartoons Cartoon Network Nicktoons gave us. It had that simple and unique kind of cartoons now. It gave us it was like that piece of life cartoon. When it ended, Disney bought the rights and produced a continuation series, obviously putting in some changes. Like it centered on side characters, which is kinda weird. Along with Billy Westnut voicing Doug and Roger, that only contributed to the horrible factor. And also, other things also included poor characterization, the way someone portrays a character, wasted opportunities, throwing away of opportunities to make the cartoon better, big and extreme pointless changes, and too much build-up of cinematic flop. I don't even know what to say on that one. Interesting fact, even Jim Jenkins, the creator, said Nickelodeon's version was better. Now on to our next cartoon, SpongeBob SquarePants. By the way, I love this show so much, but I had to put it in it. So let's do. SpongeBob was awesome and all that, but here's why it got bad. The 2004 movie could have seen the series become awesome, but Nickelodeon had something else in mind. Even though Stephanie Hillenburg, Master in Aquatic Life, left the show, it still continued. The writers decided on rehearsing old episode plots and relied more on mean-spirited humor over the original hearted spirit. Also, the relatable characters and original characters became more one note, sort of. Patrick being a very good example. Let me explain. Between season 3 and the SpongeBob movie, here's where the mistake took place. It is a common theory that since SpongeBob died in the movie, people think in SpongeBob season 4 that he became reborn or reincarnated, and that is because he may seem premature. That's actually a very common theory. Like, in the previous seasons, he was at least focused and determined on certain events, but in season 3 and all above, that all changed. His prematurity risen and he became more giving up on things. But I think the real reason is Stephanie Hillenburg leaving. Because of that, they obviously made some changes. Anyway, time for the good cartoons. Our next cartoon is made some changes. Anyway, time for the good cartoons. Our next cartoon is Teen Titans Go. Where do I start? The original Teen Titans was amazing. The action scenes, the storyline, the animation, it all contributed to it. But unfortunately, it was replaced with this garbage. Teen Titans Go. It had many flaws, and I can go for days talking about them. Flaw number 1, the excessive childish behavior. Like 80% of what they do is childish and unimportant. Like in the episode Waffles, Cyborg and Beast Boy played this pointless and extremely juvenile game to see who can go the longest saying waffles. Another terrible thing that Teen Titans Go is the plotlessness. It seems to not have a plot. It seems randomly generated or storyline lacking, considering the fact they barely fight crime, although they are superheroes. Another thing, and quite frankly my favorite thing, which makes Teen Titans Go horrible, is the way they made Robin a freak. They gave him baby hands and all that. Honestly, I can go on why Teen Titans Go was one of the worst cartoon reboots in cartoon history. But unfortunately, I don't have time. Now on to the best for last. Fairy Odd Parents. We all know Fairy Odd Parents, the cartoon featuring a 10-year-old boy who has magical fairies that grant him every wish he desires. Initially, it was supposed to end in 2006, but not so unfortunately, Nickelodeon ordered for another season, and things turned out not as expected. From then on, the characters became less relevant, charismatic, and delightful, not to mention the tiresome and pointless introducing of insipid main characters, and last and certainly not the worst, the amusing and humorous writing that was awesome, especially on a moral perspective. Got replaced with cheap pop culture humor and potty jokes, usually going against the series' initial stability and mythos. In the 10th season, the show introduced a new character while excluding other characters, altered from traditional to flash animation, and got taken to Nicktoons, but that season was obviously its last. This has been my video. I hope you liked it. I organized it from worse to even more worse, and I saved the best for last. I don't mean anyone any offense, especially the writers. This has been my video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Peace.